Welcome back, everybody, to the Los Angeles Angels franchise. We are 25-29, fourth place in the AL West, of course, above the Oakland Athletics. They are a surprising 23-30 to start the season, as our offense has been led by guys like Mike Trout and Patrick Wisdom. Patrick Wisdom, lower average, but he has 15 home runs. But it's Mike Trout with a .322 average, 15 home runs, and 30 RBIs so far in the season. He is having an MVP caliber season, and when you look at his year already compared to last year, he's putting up a career year at the moment. We talked about it a episode ago, or maybe a couple of episodes ago, I can't remember, but our pitching has been our weakest link. We are 28th in ERA, and then when you look at runs allowed, we are 28th with 263 runs allowed. So one thing that I was looking at is there's a couple of players that I'm kind of interested in to potentially trade for. The first one is Domingo Germán, with a 1.49 ERA, .9 whip, and 42 and a third innings pitched for the Blue Jays this season. He's 32 years old. He's got 2 years left of team control, but he's somebody that we could plug and play into the rotation and maybe get some pretty good, solid innings out of the rest of the season. But he's somebody that I was considering trading for at some point. The next guy is Yusei Kikuchi, 33 years old. He's a lefty arm, and he has 1 year left on his deal, $5.9 million. As this season, he has a 3.72 ERA, 1.7 whips, pretty high. And he's only pitched in 38 2/3 innings so far for the Tigers. But he's somebody that I could potentially trade for, especially guys like Davis Daniel. Don't really know how long he's going to be able to perform at the level he's at right now, which isn't even that good. And then you got guys like Reed Detmers, who really could use some time down at the AAA level, to be completely honest with you. Two more guys that I'm interested in. The next one is John Means, probably the most interesting one of the bunch. He's 31 years old. He has 2 years left on his deal, and it's only $5.3 million a year, which is actually surprisingly low. He has a 2.86 ERA, 1.12 whip, 51 strikeouts, and he's already thrown 72 and a third innings pitched this year for the Mets. And the Mets have not been playing good this year, so they'd be a perfect team to potentially trade with. And the last guy is Germán Marquez, 73 overall, 30 years old. He has 1 year left on his deal, $10.8 million. We could afford it easily. And he's having a pretty solid season at the moment, a 2.72 ERA, a 1 whip, and he's also thrown 72 and 2/3 innings of work. So Germán Marquez and John Means are the two guys that I'd like the most, but we'd have to give up the most for them. Domingo Germán and Yusei Kikuchi are guys that would be pretty cheap to potentially bring in if we wanted to, improve our starting rotation that has been extremely weak this season. My plan is to get through the entire month of June in this episode and get us ready for that July episode full of the trade deadline, the All-Star break, the MLB draft, and many more things to come in July. But my plan is to get us to July here in this episode. But I wanted to get a couple of player lock games, especially with Patrick Wisdom and Mike Trout. We're going to start out with Patrick Wisdom, as we are trying to avoid the sweep here against our in-division rivals. And it's also Davis Daniel on the mound today. He has a 5.01 ERA, 1.69 whip. He's 1-5 on the year with 50 innings of work. The strikeout rate pretty low at 16.2, and the walk rate at 13.5. As we go bottom two here in Anaheim, as Patrick Wisdom comes to the plate, John Gray on the mound, and he is having himself an excellent season so far. 32-20 are the Texas Rangers on the season. Here's Patrick Wisdom as he swings through the slider. I'm glad that Patrick Wisdom has really come through for us offensively, because with that 97 power, you are looking to get a lot of home runs. 15 home runs so far in the season. I'm extremely pleased with. We're not expecting a super high average. A 224 average, to be honest with you, is surprising for a guy like Patrick Wisdom. 2-2 count to Wisdom, as it's going to miss low, as he has ran the count full here. Logan O'Hoppe on deck. He's having himself a pretty solid season this year as well. Here's the 3-2 from John Gray, and it will be ball 4. So Patrick Wisdom is going to reach, as our offense has been pretty good all season long. It's not been the problem with this team. The problem with the team has been the starting rotation. The bullpen has also been pretty good as well. As O'Hoppe's going to hit this one to right field, as it's caught, Wisdom will retreat. Taylor Ward's somebody who is a possible trade candidate. I wouldn't expect to bring anything, cool in return for him. It would probably just be like a C potential prospect, but he's just somebody that one's going to get past the second baseman. Wisdom is going to advance to third. But Taylor Ward is somebody who I just am not very intrigued with in this offense. You know, a low home run guy. He started the season off very hot. The average really hasn't been there. And then defensively, he hasn't been great as well. Luis Rengifo is kind of the same kind of player, but Rengifo, I think, can get hot. And when he gets hot, can be a very exciting player. Here he is batting 7th in today's game as he's going to hit this one fairly well to left field. And it will be an RBI for Luis Rengifo. As we take a 1-0 lead, we're giving Davis Daniel some runs. Bottom 4 now. Runner on second with nobody away. Patrick Wisdom with an RBI opportunity upcoming. Pitch by Gray is going to be fouled away. Patrick Wisdom, if he can turn on those four-seam fastballs, he can crush them. Here's the 1-1 as it's going to miss low. Patrick Wisdom doing a really good job at being patient at the plate so far in this game. The 2-1 as Wisdom crushes it foul, 109 off the bat. I mean, you can't hit a ball much harder than that right there. As here is the 2-2 count upcoming for Wisdom as he's going to watch it low for the third ball of the at-bat. Another full count for the power-hitting righty Patrick Wisdom. Here is the 3-2. Wisdom is going to crush this one deep to left field as that will give us a 3-0 lead. I'm telling you, Patrick Wisdom, when I'm hitting with him, I just get this sense that he has some of the best power I've ever played with in MLB the Show. 97 power against righties. I think it's 95 against lefties. As he crushes that one to left field. 3-2 count. You know that a strike is probably coming. Patrick Wisdom doesn't care. He's going to turn on it and he's going to crush it. 114 off the bat. As we get another look at it, there's a fastball that came in and you can't time it up any better than that. A moonshot. I mean, that one nearly hit off the scoreboard. Look at the launch angle, the hang time, the projected distance. Patrick Wisdom might be hitting in a home run derby. Bottom 6, John Gray still out there for the Rangers, and we still hold a 3-0 lead. So Davis Daniel pitching pretty well on the mound, it appears. And we're not out of the playoff race. We're 8 games back in the AL West, so we're probably not going to win that. But like I said, we're not out of the... Oh my gosh, that one was crushed as well. We're not out of the playoff race at the moment. Just got to get hot. Here's a 2-1 pitch, and that one could have been crushed as well. Timed it up pretty well, just kind of got a little underneath of it as we fouled it back, and count will now be 2-2 for John Gray. Here's the pitch, and we're going to swing and miss on the slider. Should have been another full count. Instead, John Gray gets out of the inning. Mike Trout on first, 4-2 is the score. Zach Neto with an RBI double. And the Rangers also put 2 runs on the board at the same time as Brock Burke is on the mound now for the Rangers. We have a packed house, 34,000 in attendance. And as a matter of fact, we have 98 power versus lefties as we're going to swing through the fastball. Good swing timing again. Surprised we didn't crush that one. Here's the 1-1 to Wisdom, and it's a circle change, and it's a good circle change from Brock Burke. The 1-2 will miss inside as Patrick Wisdom working on a 1-for-2 day at the plate. He's been our everyday DH. Maybe we might have to move him to the field and figure out what the move is as far as second base goes, because our second base position has been the weakest. Maybe if Wisdom can play third, Rengifo at second, and then maybe we have somebody else who can DH every day. As that's going to be strike 3 looking at the knees. Patrick Wisdom, 1-for-3. And we are going to pick up the victory, so that is good. We don't get swept. Wyatt Langford hit an RBI double that made the score 4-3, but we ended up pulling off the victory. Davis Daniel goes 7, allowing only 1. 6 strikeouts, and he walked nobody. So Tanner Scott allowed his first, or he allowed an earned run, and Andrew Wantz did as well, but Wantz will still pick up the save. Adolis Garcia went 4-for-4 in that game. Test him for roids. So now we have a series against the New York Yankees. Patrick Sandoval on a mound, and we are going to drop this one 5-9. 3 hits for Taylor Ward, 3 for Zach Neto, a home run for Ward and Ahmed Rosario. And Patrick Sandoval continues to struggle. Jimmy Herget allows 2 earned, and Caleb Ferguson has really allowed his season to kind of fall apart at the moment. Griffin Canning has been our best starter out of the bullpen this season. He's going to give us a pretty bad outing. 5 innings, 3 earned, but it was Jose Suarez who gave up 5. Jimmy Herget and Robert Stevenson. And Taylor Ward with back-to-back games with home runs, but it doesn't matter. when your pitching has been this bad. Finale against the Yankees, and we are going to get swept as we drop this one 1-7. 2 hits for Kyron Paris. He had a triple in that game. Mike Trout and Patrick Wisdom both hitless. Reed Detmers, it's time to see him go down to the AAA. I mean, the AAA level, 1 2/3, allowing 6 earned, 2 strikeouts. Jose Suarez came in, didn't do too bad, and Caleb Ferguson lowers that ERA a little bit. But it's time for Reed Detmers to make his way down to Salt Lake. And, at 25 years old, and he's been playing at the big league levels, the big league level for 3 pretty much complete seasons. This is his worst start yet, and I just have not wanted to watch him pitch at the big league level anymore. I think it's time for him to get some action elsewhere. So what that means is Fernando Guillen will be added to the 40-man roster, and he is going to be making his MLB debut the next time Reed Detmers was slotted to pitch. And this is a big series here against the Washington Nationals. They're one of the worst teams in baseball. If we can sweep these guys, that would be great for us. As here we are in the very first game, Rengifo with a 10-game hitting streak, and we're going to lose. So we are now losers of 4 straight. As it was 2 hits for Patrick Wisdom, 2 for Taylor Ward, a home run for Wisdom, and then Chase Silseth with a pretty good outing. 6 innings, 1 earned, and that really proved to be the difference as Robert Stevenson came in the bottom of the 10th and gave up the losing run. Michael Schaefer with a shoulder tear. He'll be out for 1 to 2 months, and we have now lost another game. Here's an interesting trade offer right here. Jameson Taillon, who is not playing very good, for Luis Rengifo, who is playing average baseball. He's really playing average baseball at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and decline this trade from the Cubs. It is pretty intriguing, I can't lie. When we drop this next game 10-5 as we lose again, 3 hits for Mickey Moniak. The starting lineup continues to play pretty solid. Davis Daniel, though, allows 7 earned. Jamie Herget allows 2. Jose Suarez. What is going on with this team? So this is pretty encouraging. Eric Mott had a pretty solid month of May with a 1.17 ERA, 7 2/3 innings pitched, striking out 7. That's good because he was struggling earlier on. But we did have that injury to Michael Schaefer, so we're going to have to make an adjustment there. So I'm taking a look at our lineup here, and our lineup's been pretty solid. Nolan Shanuel has not hit for any power at all, but he still has above a 700 OPS, and that's because he walks so much. Mickey Moniak is having a pretty solid season. Taylor Ward and Luis Rengifo, same thing with these guys. I mean, Rengifo, I'd love to see him walk a little bit more. That OPS would then go up. He's not really hitting for any power. Zach Neto is having a really solid year at the moment. His best season of his career, and it's the second base position that we're just not getting any production out of. Kyron Paris has some minor league options that he can use, and I think that we're going to use that on Kyron Paris, and I think I'm going to sign a free agent. But looking at the starting rotation, Sandoval, still a high ERA. Griffin Canning, that's not too bad. Fernando Guillen is set to make his MLB debut here shortly. Chase Silseth, he's seeing that ERA go down just a little bit. And Davis Daniel, it's pretty high. Looking at the bullpen, it has gotten worse. Ben Joyce, one of those guys who, he's still kind of feeling it out. It's gotten worse, but it's not that bad at the same time. I think our bullpen is it is playing pretty solid. And then you got guys that you could potentially think about calling up here. Maybe we'll go to the AAA level. As Reed Detmers had his first start, and it was not too bad. So Gio Urshela here is somebody that's available alongside John Birdie. There are 2 guys that are available here to sign. I'm trying to think of which guy that I want to sign. Gio Urshela, of course, a former Angel. John Birdie, I don't think has ever played for the Angels. He's played with the Marlins for majority of his career. He's coming off of a season that was pretty solid. So it's either him or Gio Urshela to sign here. I'm going to opt to go for John Birdie. Well, he cost 2.4. Okay, so Gio Urshela cost how much? He's looking for 3.1. We're going to go with John Birdie here, as he is going to accept our contract offer. So he is going to be starting at second base now. Kyron Paris is going to go down to AAA and work on his bat down there. But John Birdie is going to be the guy who takes over the role as our starting second baseman. So I think that's everything for housekeeping at the moment, unless we decide to make a trade here shortly. But, that's really going to depend on how we wrap up this series against Washington and kind of get into the rest of the month. But we're going to get into some scouting here. Howard Mays, we scouted. He is going to be 18th on the board still, as his bat doesn't look too great. The defense is kind of whatever. What about Royce Lima out of Venezuela? He is a guy that we discovered here. Pretty solid speed, 22 years old. We need to scout him still, but he's a center fielder, 6 foot, 207. The power doesn't look like it's necessarily going to be there. The contact in the future looks like it could be pretty solid. We could eventually scout him for sure. And then we also got Ken Palacios, who doesn't look to be anything special. But Royce Lima is a guy that, he looks pretty solid at 22 years old out of Venezuela. So we're going to scout the right fielders out of the East region here. We're going to continue scouting starting pitchers out of the international region, and we're going to discover some players out of the international region for the outfield for one more week. And then we will have to kind of readjust. But Patrick Sandoval back on the mound here. It's 6-2. We're looking to pick up the victory. Trout needs a triple for the cycle. We do win at 6-2. Let's see, did Trout pick up that cycle? John Birdie goes 0 for 5 in his Angels debut, but Mike Trout with 3 hits. He's not going to get the cycle in this one. 2 for Elias Diaz, and then Luis Rengifo and Zach Neto both with 2 hits. And Patrick Sandoval had a very good outing. That's what we expect out of a guy like him. Griffin Canning now on the mound here against the Athletics. Logan O'Hoppe bruises his arm. He'll be out for a couple of days. We'll go ahead and keep him active, as we are going to drop that one 2-5. I'm not really sure what's going on, 2 runs for 4 hits. 2 of the hits were Elias Diaz. Mike Trout with another home run, but Griffin Canning struggling. I don't know what to do at this point, but it is time for Fernando Guillen's MLB debut. As it is time for the much-awaited MLB debut of Fernando Guillen. We're 27-35. We desperately need somebody on this roster to help make this team better. We are at risk of being just as bad as the Oakland Athletics if we lose this game. Fernando Guillen, he had an 0-1 record, 19 innings of work, 3.32 ERA, 1 whip down at the AAA level, and that was 3 starts. We would have liked for him to get 4 starts total. That wasn't the case, but I saw enough out of him. He played well at AA, had like a 1 whip. It might have been even lower. And then in 3 starts at the AAA level, had a 1 whip. That means he's not allowing people to get on base, whether it's by walks or by base hits. As it is time for Fernando Guillen's MLB debut, the first pitch is in there for a ball as he misses with the slider to Ruiz. We're 7.5 games back of the wild card at the moment. We are nearly dead last in the AL West. If we lose this game here to the Athletics, we will be tied with them for last. We can't allow that to happen, as Guillen will get his first strike across at the big league level. He's got that monkey off his back. Can he give us a good outing here? As here's the 2-2 from Guillen, as he's going to get his first big league strikeout on Estuary Ruiz. Fernando Guillen, welcome to the show. You can't draw it up much better than that for Fernando Guillen, as Logan Davidson comes to the plate as he'll foul away the 2-seam fastball. So the Athletics, kind of a surprising team so far in the franchise. They haven't been that bad at all. If they can just get hot, they'd be a 500 baseball team at the moment. Obviously, we aren't even in June yet, or I guess we are in June now. But we're at the beginning of June, and the season's finally getting into full swing at the moment. You're about to hit, the dog days of summer, and if you're playing around 500 baseball, you can always get hot. As that should have been the second strikeout for Fernando Guillen. Here's the 2-2 to Davidson. He's going to ground this one over to Shanuel, who takes it himself to the bag for the second out. Zach Geloff hit a walk-off against us a couple of episodes ago, if you guys remember that. 229 average for Geloff. We know that Fernando Guillen is not known for being a strikeout pitcher. He's going to pitch to contact more often than not. But if he can develop a strikeout pitch, what is it going to be? Can it be the 2-seam fastball, the slider, the splitter? He got his very first strikeout on the slider, as this one's going to be hit to right center, back at the wall, and nearly a home run, as that one was just about hit out of the park. That was Joe Adell who made the play. And speaking of Joe Adell, he's playing pretty solid right now at the moment. Brent Rooker comes to the plate, the biggest power threat here in the Athletics lineup. It seems like every batter Guillen has faced has resulted in a 2-2 count. Here's another 2-2 count. This one is going to be in play for John Birdie, the newly acquired Angel, as he's there for the first out. Lou McDermott, we talked about him last time we played the Athletics, somebody that we would have loved to have drafted last season. Didn't get around to doing it because he was taken before we had the opportunity. But he's somebody who is a pretty solid baseball player. And here in his rookie season, with a 250 average, that's not bad at all. His hitting attributes are in a really good spot at the moment. And to be honest with you, he has potential to be a dangerous hitter in this Athletics lineup. Maybe he's one of the guys that, has helped this team perform the way that it has. One thing that I would love to see Fernando Guillen develop is a changeup pitch. As there's the four-seam fastball in the perfect location. It freezes McDermott. It's the second strikeout of his career. Tyler O'Neill is an Athletic. I actually did not know that. His hitting attributes against righties, not too great, about the same level as a guy like Lou McDermott. But Fernando Guillen is somebody who, it's exciting because he's the first draft pick that has made his way to the big league level. And I think it's deserved. I think he played well enough at AA, to warrant the call up to AAA. And I think that it was perfect timing with a guy like Reed Detmer struggling. So it was like, okay, we have nothing to lose. Let's just call him up and see what he can show us, because he's old enough, I feel like, and mature enough as a pitcher to be able to do that for us. As Tyler O'Neill is going to smack this one to left field. It'll get down, and it's a ground rule double, the very first hit that Fernando Guillen has given up in his big league career. He'll learn not to throw that slider, or I guess that was a fastball. I thought I threw a slider. I don't know why. But he'll learn not to throw that fastball right in the wheelhouse of Tyler O'Neill next time, as it is Tyler Soderstrom to the plate for the Athletics. As this is a four-seam fastball crushed deep to right field. Fortunately, it's going to be foul. You got to be careful with that fastball. He's leaving it right in the batter's wheelhouse, as the count will now be 2-2. What about a backdoor slider? What a pitch by Fernando Guillen. It's his third strikeout of the day. Soderstrom, there's really nothing you can do about that. That's a perfect slider thrown by the young rookie pitcher Fernando Guillen. And MJ Melendez is an Athletic, and if you didn't just see, Joe Adell had an RBI double, as Taylor Ward is going to nearly catch that on a dive. It was a 3 RBI double for Joe Adell to give us a 3-0 lead. This Athletics team is pretty solid looking at their roster right now. Here's Trey Morgan now for the Athletics, as he's behind the two-seam. Here's a slider hit out there to Ward. This one's not going to be as hard as the very first opportunity he had in this game, as there's the first out in the third inning. Here's Ruiz to the plate again, as he's somebody that's got some electrifying speed, not known for having much at the plate, as that two-seam is going to miss. Count will now go to 2-2. Here's the pitch from Guillen, as Ruiz is going to foul this one away. Try to get two-seam fastball in. Ruiz is going to hit this one. The Trout, he moves a couple steps to his left, and then he'll be there for the second out. Logan Davidson batting second here for the Athletics. He stands in 0 for 1 as he watches the first pitch for a strike. He was a first-round pick in the 2019 MLB draft. Somebody who Mr. Hurricane was unable to develop in his Athletics series. Here's the 0-2 count, and that's a very good pitch from Guillen. Davidson nearly swung at it, or nearly missed on the swing. We're trying to go back to the slider. That will miss. Let's go with a fastball, low and away. Here's the pitch. Davidson barely catches up to it. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 as Fernando Guillen will get his 4th strikeout of the day. Like I said, not known for being a strikeout pitcher, but he's getting it done at the moment. Fernando Guillen with an excellent start, as Elias Diaz hits a 3 RBI home run to give us a 6-0 lead. The bats have come alive. Can the pitching stay dominant in this game so far, as Gelof's going to hit this one out to Joe Adell for the first out. Is Joe Adell finally having a breakout season here? That's what it appears like. He hasn't had that many at-bats, but he's playing really well at the moment. As Fernando Guillen is working on 4 innings of work, as John Birdie will field this one, throwing to first for the second out, as he has 55 pitches through 3 2/3, Lou McDermott standing in now, 0 for 1 on the day. Here's the pitch from Guillen. It's in there for a strike. Here's the 0-1 to McDermott, as he nearly took his kneecaps out. So far in today's game, Guillen has found success with the 4-seam fastball and the slider. The 2-seam and the splitter have been not used that often, so you can almost assume what is going to be coming here on a 2-2. It's either going to be that 4-seam or it's going to be that slider. It's the 4-seam this time, as McDermott's going to poke his bat out there, make contact, but Trout's there to field it. Fernando Guillen with an excellent MLB debut so far, as now he's going to work into the 5th inning here. 60 pitches through 4 innings of work, as Tyler O'Neill's going to hit this one to deep center field, but Mike Trout is there for the first out. Here's Tyler Soderstrom. He stands in. That one nearly misses. It's on the black. Umpire calls it a ball. 2 home runs in the last 8 games for Tyler Soderstrom. I don't know how that one's not a strike. Not really sure where the umpire's eyes were. They might have been closed. Here's the 2-0. That's a splitter in a awkward location, but it drops in there for a strike. Here's the 2-2 to Soderstrom, as he catches up to the fastball to make contact and foul it away. Here's the 2-2. We're going to go with that backdoor slider again. Did he go around? Third base umpire says no, he did not. Here's the 3-2 to Soderstrom. He's going to hit this one on the ground. It's going to be a base hit. Birdie, if he laid out, maybe could have made a play on it. Here's MJ Melendez now, 1 for 1 on the day. Here's the splitter grounded to Birdie. He throws on to Neto. Back on to first for the double play. It's 5 scoreless innings of work for Fernando Guillen in his MLB debut, as he's going to work his way into the 6th inning here. 69 pitches. Nice. Now he's a 70 pitches. But Trey Morgan up to the plate now for the Athletics. Last game he was 0 for 2, as he's quickly down 0-2 in the count. Let's go with the backdoor slider here, see if we can't pick up another strikeout for Guillen. I don't know how he made contact with that. He's getting these guys on his slider. On that backdoor slider, it must have a late break to it, as that one nearly hit the corner for strike 3. Here's the 1-2. 2-seam fastball is going to miss way too low. Here's the 2-2 to Trey Morgan. He's going to chop this one on the ground to Birdie, who throws on to Shanuel for the first out. Ruiz is going to chop this one back to Guillen. He throws on to Shanuel for the second out. So maybe a gold glove pitcher on the mound as well as Fernando Guillen, as he's 1 out away from 6 scoreless in his MLB debut. Here is Davison, chopped on the ground to Neto, on to Shanuel. It's 6 scoreless for Fernando Guillen. An excellent MLB debut, and he is going to get the ball for the 7th. Zach Geloff to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day. A perfect slider drops in for strike 1. Here is Geloff chopping this one to... and that one's going to be an error. Out of play, Luis Rengifo. That is unfortunate. If that runner were to score, though, it would be an unearned run for Fernando Guillen. Here's Rooker, and he just crushed this one to deep left center field. Fernando Guillen has given up his first home run and his first earned run in the big leagues. It was going to happen eventually. It came in a game where you had a 6-2 lead, and the manager's going to keep him out there. Ron Washington is going to continue to keep Fernando Guillen in the game here. Maybe he can learn some things about himself here. You just gave up a home run. How do you bounce back? Well, he's going to bounce back by giving up a double to Lou McDermott. It might be time to take him out, coach. Ron Washington has elected to keep him into the game here. Not sure I agree with this. He's pitched an excellent game in his MLB debut, and you're going to keep him out there, to try and get out of the inning when you can just call on to the bullpen. Tyler Soderstrom now. Don't want to give him a slider out on the middle. I don't really know why Elias Diaz would be calling for that pitch. Stamina is in a pretty solid spot here as Soderstrom swings through the fastball. He could probably get through the rest of this inning here, but that would definitely be all he could afford to do, really. As the count will go to 1-2. Here's the pitch from Guillen. He gets another strikeout on Tyler Soderstrom, and he's 1 out away from working through 7 innings in his MLB debut, as he's going to face MJ Melendez. Here's the first pitch of the at-bat. Melendez hits this one to left field. Taylor Ward on the move, as this one's going to find its way into the crowd. Here's the 0-1. Splitter chop foul. Go with the four-seam fastball up and in. Here's the pitch. Melendez will hit this one to shallow center field. Trout on the move, and he gets there in time. It's 7 innings for Fernando Guillen, allowing just the 1 earned run. He did allow 2 runs in total, though, as it will be Caleb Thielbar who takes over now, and he's having himself a really good season, especially against left-handed pitching, as we are going to win the game, but we made it close at the end. Player of the game is definitely Fernando Guillen. Elias Diaz with a home run and Joe Adell with 2 hits. But it was Fernando Guillen, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned, and 5 strikeouts. In his MLB debut, Andrew Wantz picks up the save. Caleb Thielbar allows 3. Next game, Chase Silseth on the mound, and we do win this one 7-5. And the White Sox are interested in offering us a trade. Rafael Lantigua is the main guy in the trade here. I'm going to say no to this because Nelson Rada is actually one of the more intriguing prospects in our farm system at 19 years old. We're seeing attributes go up, and he's playing average right now at AA with 3 home runs, surprisingly. The power has seen an increase. I'm intrigued by Nelson Rada. I'm going to say no to this trade. So it's a series win for us, 7-5 we win this game. Mike Trout with 3 hits, Mickey Moniak with 2. It's a home run for Patrick Wisdom, John Birdie, and Mickey Moniak. Trout was a home run shy of the cycle. Chase Silseth with a rough outing, but the bullpen picked him up in that game. Next game here against the Tampa Bay Rays, we're going to drop this one 4-7 here, as it was not a good day for the offense. 3 home runs, though. Luis Rengifo, Patrick Wisdom, and Mickey Moniak. Davis Daniel with a rough outing, as he is seeing his opportunities kind of dwindle at the moment. Jeffrey Springs is on the mound here for this game, though. I want to get a player lock game with Joe Adell, who at the moment, in only 28 at-bats so far this season, but he is hitting .321, .355 on base, .571 slug. He's seeing some ratings increases here. At 26 years old, can he be having a breakout season? If he is having a breakout season and he's turning his career around right in front of our eyes, that's amazing because we've desperately needed him to play a lot better. He's somebody who I think can really complete this outfield if he can perform better. Our lineup has gone cold, and with our lineup cold and our starting rotation cold at the same time, that does not make for a good recipe, as Patrick Sandoval is working into the second inning here and the second game against the Tampa Bay Rays as Joe Adell gets his first fielding opportunity. Here's what we want to see Joe Adell for, though. Bottom of the second, runners on first and second. 13 RBIs so far this season for Joe Adell. .321 average, like I just said. Jeffrey Springs on the mound. He has an opportunity for another one. He's got to be patient at the plate here. That is got to be the main focus here. Here's the pitch from Springs. It's going to miss for a ball. That first pitch that he swung on, that slider, that's a pretty good-looking pitch. As he's going to lay off the high 2-seam for ball 2. Here's the 2-1. As that is a hard pitch to sit back on. A circle change way too out in front of it. It is going to be a 2-2 count for Adell. He's going to hit this one deep to left field. It's drifting foul, and it will be foul. Could have been his second home run of the season. Just missed it. Here's the 2-2. We do it again. This one misses for ball 3. John Birdie on deck. He's off to a rough start here in an Angels uniform. Here's the 3-2 count. As that's a circle change. Oh my gosh, I wish I could get that one back. I wish I could get that one back. Yan Gomes still in the big leagues. Is this going to ground this one to right field? Joe Adell, let's see how good your arm is. As it is a perfect strike to third. Joe Adell gets the runner trying to advance. You make up for the strikeout with an excellent play in the field. Here's the 3-2. This one, runner was moving there, as that is going to be an easy advance for the Rays. Actually, no, it's not. Joe Adell with an excellent play in right field. With the runner on the move on the pitch. Joe Adell came up firing. That's back-to-back. Excellent plays out in right field. Yan Gomes, you better not test Joe Adell next time. Bottom 5 now. Jeffrey Springs pitching a gem at the moment, as that 4-seam is going to miss for ball 1. Joe Adell making up for the mistake at the plate. with 2 excellent plays in the field. As these are 2 pitches back-to-back that probably could have been called strikes. The umpire giving Adell the benefit of the doubt. Here's the 2-0. These are all borderline strikes here from Jeffrey Springs. Here's the 3-0. We're going to hit this one and pop it up to shallow left center field. 3-0 count, 4-seam, right in your wheelhouse. I'm going to give Adell the opportunity to swing at that every single time. As Caballero, with an RBI double, gives the Tampa Bay Rays the lead. This one's going to be hit to Adell. We've seen his arm on display twice already today. Can we see it a 4th time? No, as the runner will score. The Rays take a 2-0 lead. Jeffrey Springs still pitching here for the Rays. Here's the pitch. Adell swings and misses at the slider. Here's the 0-1 to Adell, and he's going to swing through the circle change. Those are both strikes. Just missing on the contact portion. Here's the 0-2. Adell fouls away the fastball, staying alive. We'll do the 0-2 again. Adell's going to hit this one to center field. It's hit pretty well. Should be enough for Shanuel to tag. He's not even going to try. Top 9, Robert Stevenson on the mound. Yandy Diaz is 1 for 3. As we still trail this one 2-0, our offense has gone cold in this game. And we have not gotten a single opportunity for Adell to field a fly ball. They've all been line drives hit out to right. As Elias Diaz has been called on to pinch hit. Not really sure what that call was right there. 2 hits for Neto, 2 for Ward. It was a home run by Ward, his 8th of the season. Patrick Sandoval with a pretty solid outing. He will take the loss, but still a pretty good start nonetheless. That was an interesting decision there by Ron Washington. In my opinion, I would not have taken Joe Adell out in that situation. Howard Mays looks like he's a pretty solid prospect here. Somebody to definitely keep an eye on. Christopher Machado, a right fielder, though, from Canada, 6 foot, 190 pounds, 18 years old. Looks pretty solid. The power looks like it could be there in the future. The contact would definitely need some work. No relation to Manny Machado, I don't believe, but he's somebody that looks pretty interesting here. Josh Donovan now continues to slip on our board. Ken Nomo from Japan is another guy who has now appeared on the board. So I'm actually going to edit this. I'm going to go infielders, international discover prospects here. And as far as Howard Mays goes and Josh Donovan, he's not somebody I would take in the first round. He's just not, so I'm going to stop there. Howard Mays is somebody that I would consider, but I want to see what else there is out there as far as some of these prospects. Next, I want to go ahead and look at third base prospects in the international region. I just think that's what I want to look at next, and we'll see if we can discover anybody. There we go. That looks about right to me. I know I just start yapping when we're doing the scouting sessions. It can be quite annoying when I'm not actually talking about a specific player. As we pick up our 30th win on the season, in this game here, 2 hits for Neto, 2 for Andres Chaparro, a hit for Joe Adell as well, a home run for Neto. Griffin Canning got the start, and he pitched pretty well. He pitched a gem. Now Fernando Guillen getting his second start of his career. We'll have to check on that to see how he performed, but this is kind of an interesting trade offer right here. Dean Kramer, 29 years old, 79 overall for Griffin Canning. I like Griffin Canning a lot. He's set to be a free agent for us, and he's somebody that I'm probably going to end up re-signing. Dean Kramer, probably not going to take this offer. 2 hits for Wisdom, 2 for Moniak. Luis Rengifo and Ahmed Rosario both with 2 hits as well. Fernando Guillen, that's a rough outing right there, but it's only his second start of his career, so what more can you expect, to be completely honest with you? The question is how is Reed Detmers performing? Not very good. In 2 starts, he has a 6.75 ERA, 1.8 whip. I don't know what's going on with Reed Detmers at the moment, but I have not really been impressed with what I've seen. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's to the point where I'm borderline ready to potentially trade him. Nolan Shanuel, my fault, has really been struggling. It's time to get a player lock game with him to figure out, what has been the reason for his struggles. And at 30 and 38, and we're about to hit July here in a couple of short weeks. As after this game right here, we're going to really start getting into the simulating. We've struggled, and I don't really know what the plan of attack moving forward is, because it's just not been good as a whole. We've had Mike Trout and Patrick Wisdom kind of dominate, but aside from those two, it's not been very good for anybody on this team. As Shohei Ohtani, the former Angel, on a mound here for the Dodgers. 2-0 count to Shanuel. He's going to get an inside-out swing, and it's caught by Mookie Betts playing short. Max Muncy now to the plate. He's going to hit this one over to Birdie. On to Neto, on to Shanuel for an inning-ending double play. Here's Ohtani on a mound. He throws the fastball, fouled away by Shanuel. Shanuel, I don't think, has a home run on the season. No, 0 home runs. He's not hitting for any power. A .315 slugging is atrocious. No power at all for Nolan Shanuel. As he's going to hit this one back up the middle, it's fielded. He's going to take it to the bag himself, and turn 2. It's a 4-3 double play as Gavin Lux does it all by himself. Freddie Freeman hit an RBI single to give the Dodgers a 1-0 lead. Chase Silseth working here into the 5th, as this one is going to be grounded to third. Neto on to Shanuel for the double play. Another inning-ending double play. Top 6, Ohtani still on a mound, and he's going to force Shanuel to pop this one up to shallow left. Mookie Betts there to make the play. It's an 0 for 3 days so far for Shanuel, and now with a 4-0 lead, Ohtani works on the complete game shutout. I mean, these are pitches right down the middle, and we are just looking stupid on them. Right down the middle. As the Dodgers will beat us 4-0. It's a shutout. Chase Silseth did pretty well out of the pen. I mean, he did pretty well in the start, as he went 6 innings for 1 earn. Yep, we just continue to struggle. So Davis Daniel has been playing pretty rough at the moment, and I think that it is time to potentially make a move. Ben Joyce is another guy who's actually kind of struggled at the same time. Jimmy Herget and Jose Suarez have kind of struggled in that long relief role. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really know what to do, but Davis Daniel, it's time to go ahead and send him down to the AAA level as well. He's had his moments, but he's kind of struggled here recently. So we'll go ahead and send him down. And then Brett Carey, we can go ahead and send him down to to single A. So Chase Chaney is up to a 70 overall here, 25 years old. He's not playing particularly well at the moment, but he is somebody to keep an eye on. At 70 overall, that's pretty good. See potential guy. If he can continue to play, continue to see rating increases alongside better numbers, he could definitely get the call up. But we are going to be making a trade. I think that it's time. Actually, we're not going to be making a trade quite yet, as we're going to get swept by the Dodgers. And I'll let you know why we're not making a trade yet. But double for Wisdom, 2 for Rengifo, as Patrick Sandoval really struggled. As now we go on to play Kansas City, 7-1. We win the first game here. It's 2 hits for Rengifo, 2 for Trout, 2 for Wisdom. Wisdom seeing that batting average increase a little bit here. And Joe Adell with a 2-hit day. He had a double. Patrick Sandoval, wait a second. Yeah, so Patrick Sandoval just pitched back-to-back days, and that would be due to the fact that we don't have 26 guys at the big league level. Davis Daniel, welcome back to the bigs, buddy. I messed that one up big time. So please forgive me on that one. Hopefully, so Griffin Canning should be getting a start now. That's not a good idea to see Patrick Sandoval start back-to-back days. Fortunately, we win this game right here. But Sandoval went out, pitched 1 2/3, gave up a run, and then the bullpen shut it down. Second game of the series here. Griffin Canning working on a shutout. Looking to get one more out here in the inning. Zach Neto will be out for a couple of days, and we lost the game. That's extremely annoying. Fernando Guillen now will get we'll see, did he get the win here? Note, the win is going to belong to Andrew Wantz, but he went 7 innings, allowing only 2 earned, 8 strikeouts. 2 home runs for Mike Trout, a double for Patrick Wisdom. 4 total hits for Mike Trout. So that's good to see Fernando Guillen bounce back. As the next game will be Chase Silseth on the mound. Time to get into some scouting again here. So we discovered nobody here in the international region in the infield. Let's go East region here just to see, and then we can try to go. Actually, I just feel like we've found enough outfielders as far as discovery goes. We can take a look at these third basemen that we just scouted. William Tran goes way down on the list, and all of these guys are now below 100 on the draft rank. So I'm going to go ahead and change that, and I'm going to go to the first baseman in the East region here. We can try and discover some guys. You know what I am going to discover? No, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stick to this right here, and this is what we're going to do for this week of scouting. So Chase Silseth in the finale here. Bottom 8. It's 4-3. Caleb Ferguson on the mound. Should I enter? I guess I'm going to have to start entering these games. I don't get it. I'm getting kind of frustrated right now. 6-5 we lose. Chase Silseth. I mean, can this guy get an outing that's not 5 innings, 3 earned allowed? Please. Andrew Wantz blows the save. Had we entered there, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. We would have lost. First, let me show you this. The New York Mets are struggling. They're 32-40. We're 32-42, so you could say that we're struggling just as much. But I want to give this team an opportunity to succeed and play better. John Means, I think, can give us that. I'm going to see what it would take to bring in a guy like John Means. How about this? Levon Soto, Davis Daniel, and Joe Stewart to the Mets for John Means. John Means is somebody we would have around in the rotation for at least 2 seasons. And he's kind of what I want in the starting rotation. They're interested in making the deal. Let's make it happen. We have made our first trade in what feels like a very long time. So that will go ahead and slot John Means into the 5 role. Hopefully he's, not gassed. So we could get a player lock game in with him here. But we'll have to figure out the rest of the roster here because now we're kind of depleted at the AAA level. We're going to have to call up a starting pitcher. How about Sean Skinner gets to call up to the AAA level here? He is playing pretty well. We're seeing that contact versus left drop at the moment, but he is a 69 overall. I'm liking his development at the moment. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and call up Sean Skinner to the AAA level. It's a perfect opportunity to see that happen. I'm going to adjust the lineups here, and then we will advance. So I'm going to get a player lock game in here with John Means. We just picked him up in the trade. I think it's a perfect opportunity. Looking at the lineup here, Ahmed Rosario is getting the start at short due to Neto being out. He's not been good. Wisdom with a 217 average, but he's hitting for very good power. Ohapi and Ward are on cold streaks. Pretty much everybody in this lineup are on cold streaks. If the pitching can get better and we can have a couple of guys stay hot in the lineup, I can be happy with that. And it's Akil Baddoo leading off here for the Tigers. Hopefully John Means is relatively good to go as far as stamina goes. He is. He's got full energy for this game. John Means is the type of pitcher that I like. Of course, you want strikeout pitchers, but if they're going to be giving up a lot of home runs and they're going to be giving up a lot of walks and they have no control, there's no reason to have them in my rotation. I want guys who are going to limit runs. That's the biggest thing for guys in my rotation, as Means is going to force Akil Baddoo to pop this one up to left field for the first out. So we pulled off a trade, and this is a trade that would indicate that we are trying to win. We're not a team that's trying to suck. We're not. If we were a team that, was trying to go out there and suck so that we could trade our best players for prospects, then we wouldn't have made a trade to bring in a very solid starting pitcher. This is a guy, John Means, who a lot of teams were probably going to be approaching in July, at the trade deadline. Well, we thought that it was a perfect opportunity to do it now. We're 10 games below 500. We need something to start going our way. And that's a strike 3 on the corner. Riley Green was not ready to pull the trigger. John Means, a perfect first inning. And here's Yusei Kikuchi. We just talked about him. He's on the mound for the Tigers in this game. So it's a battle of guys that we could have a battle of the guy that we traded for and the guy that we could have traded for. As Means gets Kerry Carpenter to ground out to short. Rufus Zito. This is a guy who earlier on in the season was supposed to have been having like an MVP level season. He's maybe died down a little bit, but he's having an excellent year. 862 OPS. He's a rookie. He has that D potential. That will definitely be raised to at least B potential because he's going to win Rookie of the Year if I had to guess. He's not going to be D potential forever as long as I remember to change it. Here's the 0-2 to Rufus Zito. He's going to foul it away. Zito is going to hit this one to shallow right as Adele is there for the second out. Like I said, my goal is to get through the rest of June, so we have about half the month to go. We've made the trade for the, that I wanted to make to give us one last opportunity to start winning some games. That's what this trade right here was. This was our last opportunity. Hey, can we turn it around? If we can, maybe that can change the trajectory of this season and what we decided to do with players like Mike Trout. I'm going to say it, and I said it. Mike Trout could potentially be traded this season. John Means quickly up 0-2 here to Jake Rogers, as he's going to get Rogers to pop out to Ahmed Rosario, who, if he could just turn his season around as far as hitting goes, could be a player who really helps this team succeed. As here's Colt Keith hitting 8th now for the Tigers. This one hit on the ground. Rengifo not going to be able to catch it. Throws on the first, and he still is able to get Colt Keith. That is an excellent play there by Luis Rengifo. He didn't allow himself to freak out. He stayed with himself and made the play. As here's Justin Henry Malloy here for the Tigers. Here's the 1-2 to Malloy. He's going to hit this one to left field. Taylor Ward on the move. He is underneath of it for the final out. Akil Baddoo leading off here for the Tigers as he fouls away the circle change. John Means with a pretty good start to his Angels career. Hopefully it is not a short career there. We have him for the rest of this season, then we will obviously have him for next season as well. And I think that, hopefully Reed Detmers turns it around and John Means can stay in this rotation. That would then mean we would have 4 lefties. Or no, I guess it would only be 3 lefties in a rotation. Or would it? You know what? I can't even think. Never mind everything that I'm saying at the moment. Because if Reed Detmers came back in the rotation, that would force potentially Fernando Guillen to drop back down, which I don't think that's going to happen. I just think Fernando Guillen offers a lot to this team. And he's had himself 2 really good starts, and he had 1 start that was not so good. His next start's going to be the one that's like, okay, this is what we can expect to get out of Fernando Guillen the rest of his time. As that's the first base hit for the Tigers. Javi Baez will put the Tigers in the hit column. Here's the 0-1 as Riley Green is going to hit this one to left. Javi Baez is going to go to third. He's going to round it. He's coming home, and he is going to be safe at the plate. The Tigers are on the board first. It's back-to-back hits given up by John Means, and it's Riley Green with the RBI. Kerry Carpenter now to the plate for the Tigers. Somebody who has some pretty good pop in his bat as he's ahead 1-0 in the count. Here's the 1-1. Carpenter hits this one on the ground as Ahmed Rosario is there for the second out. Rufus Zito, the big power-hitting righty, somebody who is very dangerous at the plate. Here's the 1-0 to Zito as he's going to hit this one to left, and it is caught by Taylor Ward. An excellent play to end the 4th. Patrick Wisdom with a 2 RBI home run to give us a 2-1 lead. I think Patrick Wisdom was an excellent signing in free agency. This team was put together to win. This team wasn't put together to, suck and be 10 games below 500. We were meant to be a team that was playing for a playoff spot, and that hasn't been the case. It's been unfortunate, but we're going to stay committed to the process that we're in right now. If we hit the end of July and we are a terrible team that's not in position to make a push, which I think that the push we've already made. John Means with that trade, he is the push to the playoffs. I don't think that we're going to be making any more moves. We brought in John Birdie to try and help strengthen our second base position. That hasn't really helped. We could sign Gio Urshela, as John Means just gave up a home run to Jake Rogers as the game is now tied. As Colt Keith comes to the plate now for Detroit. But yeah, I mean, you could see us potentially sign Gio Urshela to, you know, a small deal. John Birdie goes down to AAA, and maybe that can help us out. But as far as trades go, I don't really think you're going to be seeing any more trades. The trade for John Means was the only one you're probably going to see, unless we're selling. But as far as buying goes, we've done all the buying we're going to be doing for the season. We can be aggressive in free agency this upcoming off season potentially, but in-season stuff is pretty much done as far as making the team better. As John Means will get the strikeout on Colt Keith as he is frozen at the plate. You know, John Means is kind of like a Fernando Guillen veteran edition. That's pretty much what John Means is, and Fernando Guillen could potentially learn a lot from a guy like John Means. That's another reason that I think bringing him in benefits this team. Only 56 pitches thrown by Means, and there's the third strikeout. Justin Henry Malloy looks stupid. 3-2 we lead now, as Ahmed Rosario with an RBI single gave us a 3-2 lead, as Akil Baddoo is coming through yet again. Baddoo's going to hit this one to shallow center field. Mike Trout is there for the first out. Javi Baez got the scoring started when he singled, and then later came around to score. Here's the 1-2 to Baez as he looks silly on the circle change. It's another strikeout for John Means. His fourth of the day. Here's Riley Green. Hits this one to left field. Taylor Ward ranging back. He's there. And that's 6 solid innings for John Means. We may see him come out in the 7th. But if not, he is going to come out. So he comes out for the 7th inning. Score remains 3-2. I mean, only 65 pitches in. He could definitely throw a complete game at the pace that he's at right now. As Kerry Carpenter is 0 for 2 on the day. He's going to hit this one to deep right field as Joe Adell is going to bounce off of his glove. Not really sure how that happens. As then he's going to throw the ball in wild. John Means trying to field it, throws under Rengifo, and he gets Kerry Carpenter at third. What a heads-up play by John Means. And Joe Adell, with an errant throw, helped us out. John Means there for the backup, throws on to Rengifo. What a awkward play, but an exciting play to help this Angels team not lose everything. As John Means, that's the first time I've ever seen that happen. And in a player lot game, that was pretty exciting. Here's the 1-1. Zito is going to hit this one to right field. Please catch this one. Adell is there for the second out. Spencer Torkelson didn't even realize he was in the lineup because he hasn't been playing too well. As that four-seam's going to hit the corner for the first strike. Torkelson with an excellent average against lefties on the season. He grounds this one up the middle for a base hit. John Birdie's not going to be able to make the play. As John Means' day is done, Ron Washington will come on to pull him out of the game. And it's going to be Robert Stevenson with an excellent 1.91 ERA. And we do come away with the victory in John Means' Los Angeles Angels debut. We're trying to get better. That is the story of this episode. We're a team that's not very good at the moment, but we are trying to get better. We win this game 3-2. Home run for Patrick Wisdom. Robert Stevenson, Tanner Scott, and Andrew Wantz come in and shut it down the rest of the way. So Zach Neto no longer injured, which is a good thing. He will make his way back into the lineup here. Ohapi has been struggling recently, with that 244 average. I want to see if he can break out of that slump, but he has been struggling a little bit. Shanuel finally hit his first home run. And then John Birdie's also struggling. Andres Chaparro, he can play a little bit of first and third. Maybe he sees some opportunities against lefties. I think that could definitely benefit Nolan Shanuel. I think it could definitely benefit him. And then as far as that second base position goes, it continues to struggle. And then Taylor Ward, he's honestly been on kind of a cold streak as well. Still playing solid, so we're going to give him a chance to kind of figure it out. Next game here, Patrick Sandoval with a shutout late into the game. And we do win this one 2-1. So this one I didn't jump into. And luckily, the game didn't screw me over. Patrick Wisdom with another home run. Which, looking at the lineup now, Mike Trout is batting .317 with 19 home runs. But Patrick Wisdom, .221 average with 21 home runs. This guy is ridiculous. We're 34-42. Griffin Canning gets the start here against Reese Olson. As Aaron Hicks is injured, he'll be out for a couple of days. We do sweep the Detroit Tigers, and the Marlins are interested in offering us a trade. This is an interesting trade. Edward Cabrera, who is practically Reed Detmers. That's practically what he is, but Detmers has potential to be so much better. He's now had a couple of pretty good outings down at AAA. So we're going to say no to this. Thanks for the offer, though, folks, as we are now 35-42 as we take on the Royals in the first game, lose it 6-2. The next game we win 8-1 as Fernando Guillen took the loss here in this game. The offense was kind of cold, though. Andres Chaparro hit a home run. Fernando Guillen gives up 2 earned in 6 innings of work. That's not a bad outing at all. Caleb Ferguson, if you ask me, is the one who did the worst in that game. And it's time to get back into scouting here. So we discovered one guy in the infield here. I'm going to say it was Derek Richard. And I'm looking at these first basemen that we're scouting here. Woody McKenzie, very good hitter. It's just he's low on the board right now. And I think the reason is because his potential is going to be quite low. Somebody that I'm probably not willing to take a look at. I don't really know what to go with as far as the rest of these guys. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this scouting assignment. There's one specific prospect that I'm interested in, and that is Casey Werdekemper. Weird name, I know, but he's one of those guys that I'm actually interested in looking at. I don't know what that was about. So Warren Young here, who scouts position players, he's going to go ahead and scout Casey Werdekemper. And then I think, let me see how we're doing on these starting pitchers out of the international region. We're pretty much good on these guys. I'm going to go one more week with these international guys. And then we'll go back to Central for one last week. And then infielders in the East region. Let's go ahead and edit this. And let's go outfielders in the East region. So we'll do something like that right there for this scouting cycle. So John Means back on the mound here, and we're going to win this game 5-4 against the Royals. We're now 37-43. Maybe we are turning it around just a little bit. 2 hits for Taylor Ward, one of which was a triple. John Means with an excellent outing. Tanner Scott allows an earned run. Stevenson and then Wantz picks up the victory. Now on to a series with our division rivals, the Houston Astros, as Anthony Rendon is finally healthy. An 11-10 victory. 4 hits for Ahmed Rosario, increasing that average to 226. Mike Trout with 2. Patrick Wisdom with 2. Logan O'Hoppe with 2 hits. Renifo and Neto. Everybody with a hit except for Taylor Ward. Only 1 home run. Patrick Sandoval struggled. Jose Suarez struggled. Andrew Wantz gets the hold, but Caleb Thielbar with the save. As we win the first game against the Houston Astros. How about game 2? Well, hold on. We have too many players on our roster. John Birdie is somebody who's actually kind of struggled. And Rendon, I think, can give us something. You know what? I don't know. Anthony Rendon, what do we do with this guy? Until I figure it out, I'm just going to send him down to single A because I don't know what I want to do with him. He's only had 21 at-bats this season with a 286 average. The problem is he's getting paid so much money. Why are we going to sit him on the bench in single A to rot? Well, I'll tell you why, because I don't feel like dealing with it right now because I don't know John Birdie. What's the deal with him? What are we going to see with a guy like Birdie? What's his WAR look like? It's a negative WAR at the moment. Maybe we send Birdie down to single A and then we call Anthony Rendon up. I mean, I think that's going to be the move. Ahmed Rosario maybe turning his season around a little bit, so maybe we could, plug him into the lineup and hope that works out for us. So that's what we're going to go with. Griffin Canning on the mound here, as this one's 8-6 in the top of the 9th with 2 outs. Mike Trout with 2 home runs already. We're going to win this one 8-6. So 2 hits for Trout, 2 of them are home runs. 2 hits for Joe Adell as well. Griffin Canning allows 5 earned, but the bullpen comes in and helps him out. As Fernando Guillen on the mound here against Luis Garcia. Taylor Ward with a 3-for-3 day. He's a home run away from the cycle, as we are going to lose this one 5-4. That is unfortunate to see. Caleb Ketchup now out for 2 months. Sean Skinner has been playing pretty well at the AAA level. Maybe he's somebody that late in the year we could call up and maybe he could help this team out. And then looking at Reed Detmers at the AAA level, he's pitching pretty well. I think he's going to be getting called back up to the majors before too long. But we have one more series in the month of June. The first game we are going to win 7-4, as it was Chase Silseth who gets the victory. 3 hits for Wisdom, 2 for Mike Trout, 2 for Joe Adell, 2 for Taylor Ward, and 2 for Neto. 2 doubles for Trout. Nobody hit a home run in this game, but Chase Silseth gives us 6 innings, 3 earned. Seeing that ERA kind of go down a little bit. John Means on the mound for this one. Typically, I wouldn't enter here, but every time that I haven't entered, we lose. So I'm going to enter to try and pick up the save here against the San Francisco Giants. Vidal Brujan on here to the plate. He's going to ground this one foul, Shanuel. So we go with the slurve and see if he'll pop up this bunt. Here's the slurve. He's not going to pop it up. We're actually just going to go to first here. Shanuel, you better hurry. He does get there in time. I wanted to go to second, but with somebody with 80 speed on first, it would have been a pretty difficult play to make. Here is Jung Ho Lee for the Giants. He's 2 for 4. We're going to go with the cutter up and in. Here's the pitch. It misses inside for ball 2. Maybe a circle change here. We are slowly turning our season around with a strong end to the end of the month as Ohapi ranges over. This one is in foul territory. Ohapi not going to be able to make the play. Here's the 2-2. The pitch from Wentz as that one's fouled away. Go with the cutter low and in here. Here's the pitch. Ward ranging in. It's going to drop. As runners on the corner now with 1 away. As it's Luis Matos to the plate. He's 2 for 4 as he goes to square a bunt. And he just got hit by the pitch. The bases are now juiced. Bases loaded with 1 away. Here's the pitch. It's there for a strike. Anthony Santander, now a San Francisco Giant. I think that's a new addition this season. Here is Wentz, the 2-1. This one's going to be hit to left field. Ward on the move. He's there to make the play, and the runner will not tag. An excellent play by Taylor Ward. The bases remain loaded. Wilmer Flores now to the plate. Is it more beneficial to potentially bring on Tanner Scott in this situation? The pitching clutch is pretty decent. It's at 76. We could keep Andrew Wentz in the game. We'll take a look at Andrew Wentz. His pitching clutch is pretty low. Tanner Scott is going to come on to hopefully take care of Wilmer Flores, and that's it. Here's the first pitch of the AB. It just misses inside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 to Wilmer Flores. It misses up high. Count goes to 2-0. The 2-0 is on the black for strike 1. That should have been probably ball 3. Here's Flores. Hits this one to foul territory. Luis Rengifo ranging back. This is going to be a tough play. No, it's not. The Angels win as they get out of the bases loaded jam to go up 2-0 in the series here against the Giants. Patrick Wisdom with a home run. Joe Adell with 1 and Zach Neto with 1 as well. John Means with a very strong outing in the bullpen helped each other out in this game as we pick up the victory. So this is the last scouting session of the episode here. Casey Werdekemper goes down here, and I don't think he's somebody that I'm going to continue scouting. Where do I go from here? I think we did discover 2 prospects out of the East region here, so we'll go ahead and see if any of those prospects are any good. What about Horacio Walker? 18 years old. Looks pretty solid. So we'll go ahead and edit this. We'll go starting pitcher Central region here. I'm going to edit this scouting assignment. Or I'm going to cancel this scouting assignment. So I'm going to scout the starting pitchers out of the Central region. Once I finish with that, there's a closing pitcher that I'm going to scout. And then we're going to take a look at Royce Lima here and Christopher Machado. Machado may not give us the most accurate scouting report just due to the fact that this scout is not very good at scouting these guys. Royce Lima did opt out of his doctor exam as well. But that's what I'm going to go with here in our final scouting session. And we're going to simulate this final game here against the Giants. 3-4, top 9, 1 out. We're going to hop in one last time here in this episode. As it's Patrick Wisdom here in the top of the 9th. Runners on first and second with 1 away. Here's Camilo Duval on a mound for the Giants. This one's going to be chopped foul. Patrick Wisdom, one of the more dangerous hitters in baseball this season. Can he keep it up? Here's the 0-1. Duval, perfect pitch to swing and crush, and we were just too late on it. Here's the 0-2. Just misses outside. Or just misses. That was that missed the zone by quite a bit. Here's the 1-2. Wisdom fouls it away to stay alive. Here's the 1-2 again. Wisdom checks his swing. He did hold back. Count goes to 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Wisdom hits this one on the ground. This one could definitely be 2. And it is. The Giants win. And our winning streak comes to an end. Caleb Ferguson takes the loss here in this game. 2 hits for Shanuel, 2 for Moniak. Mike Trout hit his 23rd home run of the season. Sandoval pitched pretty well. Only 1 total earned run in this game. Caleb Ferguson takes the loss, though. We've turned it around, though. This was a pretty strong month of June. We're heading into July as a competitive team, and that's the only thing you could really ask for at this point in the season. We will advance, or you know what? We're not going to advance. No, we will. Screw it. Barrett Kent injured. He is going to be out for a couple of days. June 30th is the day now. The Twins are interested in offering us a trade here. Adrian Hauser. Is he playing at AAA right now? No, thank you. That was kind of a pathetic trade, as we are 41-43. 41-45. I don't know where I got 43 from. We're 7 games back of the wild card. We definitely need to get hot if we expect to be a playoff caliber team, but we have the draft in 11 days. There's some prospects that I'm excited about. Nobody who, is really intriguing like Sean Skinner was last year, but we do have some guys that I'm quite interested in. As looking at this right here, nothing really excites me there. But we're, like I said, 41-45. We've reached the month of July. The next month of baseball is going to be, really when we figure out what the rest of this season is going to look like and the series moving forward is going to look like. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.